Let us praise God. I want to tell God, thank you for allowing us, giving us this opportunity to gather together. It is a pleasure and honor for me to be here with all of you on this platform. So on behalf of the Embassy of the Republic of Liberia, accredited near this capital, Beijing, I want to thank the leadership of the Student Union, the Liberian Student Union in China, for extending me this invitation to serve as your guest speaker. Indeed, I am honored. Let me begin. First of all, I just want to correct something. I want to say thank you to the woman the student that just introduced me. There was a mistake and I want to rectify it so that you students can keep it in your file. Not PhD, but PGD. Okay? PGD, which is the postgraduate degree from the Gabriel L. Dennis Foreign Service Institute, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Liberia. That is a study in contemporary diplomacy and international relations. So please, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so please correct that, Mr. President. Please correct that. It's not PhD. Maybe in future I will try to go for the PhD, but it's a postgraduate degree in diplomacy.
Yeah, we're sorry. Thank you for the correction.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, let me begin by congratulating all of you who have recently arrived in China to begin or continue your studies in China. You have embarked on a journey that will expand your knowledge, expose you to new cultures, and shape your future in meaningful ways. As you pursue your dreams or your study, the embassy joins the Liberian Student Union in China in wishing you success, safety, and personal growth through all your stay in China. The theme for this year's orientation, prevention is easier. Yes, prevention is easier could not be more fitting. It reminds us that awareness and preparation are the first steps towards safety, discipline, and success. As the saying goes, ignorance of the law is no excuse, and it is mentioned in your topic. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. What we do not know can still affect us, and that is why learning about the laws and regulation of your host country is so essential. Allow me to highlight a few key areas of Chinese law that every international student should understand. Please note that each of these areas matters deeply, not just for compliance, but for your personal safety, your academic success, and the reputation of the Liberian student community in China. Those key issues I will point out. Religious activities of foreigners in China. China guarantees freedom of religious belief. But religious activities are what regulated by law. Foreigners may attend, register places of worship, but are not permitted to organize, lead, or what promote religious gathering or missionary activities or missionaries' activities. Respecting these boundaries ensure mutual understanding and peaceful coexistence. Key number 2, exit and entry administrative law. I love this part of this key area. As you know, let me just break in before let me just say something before I can continue on this. You know, we here at the embassy, these are some of the challenges that we are facing. And actually, I have been in touch, I have been in contact with your Vice President, Ms. Hammer, and we have been discussing all of this because it's a key issue. And I'm happy that this is one of the key major issues in today's orientation. One of the things we should know, your visa and residence permit, it defines your legal status in China. Always keep them valid and up to date. Report changes of address or institution when necessary, and never overstay your visa. Such awareness prevents unnecessary legal difficulties. You see, I think you can get a clear understanding. Number 3, road traffic safety law. For those who use public transportation or private vehicles, please be aware that China's traffic laws are strictly enforced. Driving without a valid Chinese driver license or disguising traffic rules can result in fines, legal action, or worse. Safety on the road is everyone's responsibility. Then we come to key number 4. One of the key points, number 4, anti-drug law of China. China maintains a zero tolerance policy towards drugs use and possession. Violation lead to immediate and serve consequences, including detention, deportation, and lifetime entry bans. Stay away from any environment or association that could compromise your safety or reputation. I said this, stay away. Today's program is comprehensive orientation for new students. So as Rufi can always call me our ma, I think I want to play a motherly role. And it's important. That's why I said a very big thank you to the leadership of the Liberian Student Union in China. I want to commend them because they have been working very hard, and it's good that they came up with all of these key issues. Stay away because these are some of the issues that come to our offices, that come to our office at the embassy. So, as a mother, as Rufin always call me our mom, stay away from any environment as you have come to do your studies. Stay away from any environment or association that could compromise your safety or reputation. Number 5, international students and regulation. Students are allowed. Maybe some of the students will ask, I wonder when we go to China, will we be allowed to do part-time job, or I don't know. And this is telling you, this law is telling you, yes, students are allowed to engage in part-time work or internships only with authorization from their university and the local immigration office. Working without permission is a violation of your visa status and can result in penalties or expulsion. Always seek proper guidance before taking up any employment. These are the laws. General rights and responsibility of foreigners. As foreigners, as foreign residents, you are protected by Chinese law, but you are also expected to obey it. Respect local customs and culture, comply with regulations, and maintain the dignity and good name of Liberia wherever you go. My dear students, as you have come to study in this country, China, prevention is about more than avoiding trouble. It's about taking the time to learn, asking questions, and making wise and informed choices. It's about understanding your environment and conducting yourself with integrity and respect. Each of you represent not just yourself, but the Republic of Liberia. How you act, how you study, and how you engage with others all reflect the value of your nation, Liberia. At the embassy of the Republic of Liberia in China, we are committed to supporting you. If you encounter challenges, academic, legal, or personal, do not hesitate to reach out through the appropriate channels. Your student leader, the Liberian Student Union in China, and the embassy are here to serve as partners in your success and well-being. As you begin this new academic year, let me encourage you to stay courageous, stay disciplined, and above all, stay aware. Prevention truly is easier than correction. Let knowledge guide your path, and let excellence define your journey. On behalf of the Liberian embassy in China, I wish you success. I wish you every success in your studies and in your stay here in China. Again, I want to say thank you and congratulations once again to all of our new students in China. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, Alma. Thank you so highly. We really do appreciate. Madam MC, it's over to you. The Oma finish yo.
Thank you, Madam Esther. Thank you so much. We'll open the floor now for questions from the audience. You can drop your questions in the chat. We'll take 3 questions. I don't know about you, but I learned a lot from Alma. She said to never overstay your visit, to always keep your visa and resident permit valid, to never take up unemployment without proper guidance. So just drop your questions in the chat and I will recognize you. Techno C16, can you turn off your mic? Thank you. Are there any questions?
The Oma, yeah,
Okay.
we're not asking her when she go. Okay. All the questions you used to ask me, the Oma, yeah, you're not asking the Oma go. Ha. Ain't there. All right. If there are no questions, I think we can make progress since we have other speakers too. But if you still have questions, Madam Esther is a direct representative from the embassy. She's the one who's in charge of the T visa extension. She's the one who always drops the communication that we always share to you guys. So if you have any question, it doesn't have to be necessarily about what she spoke about, but anything regarding your safety here in China, you can ask. If not, then we will make progress and move on to the next speaker.
Okay, once again, thank you, Madam Esther. So our next speaker is Dr. Augustine Ballah, Liberia's second neurosurgeon. He works at the JFK Memorial Center in Liberia. This speaker will be introduced by Honorable Mana Destiny Bloh. Honorable Mana, the floor is yours. Okay. I see that Mana is not active, so I will take over for him. Dr. Augustine Ballah was born on March.
Hello, I'm active. Sorry.
Ah, welcome. Thank you. Yeah, Mana.
Okay. Sorry, I had internet issue. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mana, we can hear you. I think you can go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. We can hear you now.
Okay. Augustine Ballah was born on March 26, 1983, in Kolahu, Louva County, Liberia, West Africa. He grew up with his grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. Kafwa Ballah, in Habel, Parson, Lower Margibi County, where he had most of his childhood memories. He started his primary education with the Firestone School system in 1989 and completed middle school at the St. Pius Sympathist Catholic School in Habel, Liberia in 2001. In 2001, he attended the Booker Washington Institute, BWI, in Kakata, Margibi, and later moved on to the Monrovia Free Pentecostal Mission High School in Cinco, Monrovia, Liberia, where he graduated from high school as a valedictorian of his class in 2004. With excellent results in the West African Examination Council WAEC, he was immediately enrolled at the University of Liberia in 2005 and graduated in 2010 from the Fakuna College of Science and Technology with honor with a Bachelor of Science in Zoology, minoring in Chemistry. In 2011, he was awarded a bilateral scholarship after a third vet to study clinical medicine in China. He graduated from the prestigious Harbin University Medical College in 2017, passed all requirements of the Liberian Medical and Dental Council for foreign medical graduates, and was licensed as a general practitioner to practice medicine in Liberia. From 2017 to 2019, he worked at the Redemption Hospital, John F. Kennedy Medical Center, Jackson F. Dole Regional Federal Hospital in Tapita, Nimba County, James David JDJ Memorial Hospital, and the Kingdom Care Medical Center in Liberia. In 2017, he also earned a Master of Arts degree in Intercultural Studies, MAIS, from the Malaysia Baptist Theological Seminary. In 2019, he was awarded a scholarship by the World Federal of Neurosurgical Society, WFNS, Africa 100 China Neurosurgical Training Program for a 4 years specialist training as a neurosurgeon. He is also the author of several published scientific articles in a book titled Practical English for Neurosurgery Residency that was published by the People Publishing House in China in 2022 and approved by the Chinese Board of Neurosurgical Surgery as a textbook for neurosurgery residents in China. Currently, he is assigned as a neurosurgeon at the John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital, Monrovia, Liberia, and also an assistant pastor at the New Covenant Outreach Ministry on 25th Street, Cinco, Monrovia, Liberia. He is married to small Boama Ballah for 14 years now and blessed with 4 children, 3 boys and a princess, Augustine, Awesome, Augustina, and Augustum. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's actually an honor to welcome to the platform Dr. Augustine K. Ballah. Thank you.
Thank
14
you.
years, 14 years,
Thank
14
you.
years.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can. But I brought internet and I made you freeze though.
I will on freeze. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
we can hear you.
you. Maybe you can turn off the video for a while. When the connection is stable, then you can turn it back on. Let's see how that works.
Okay. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can. Just you can continue. I think
I need permission to share. Yeah, so I think you should grant me permission to share my PPT. Thank you for the introduction, Mana. And I see a lot of familiar faces. Yeah, thank you to be with you guys today. My daughter, Rufi. Yeah, all of you, I see a lot of you that I know, and the new students, good to be with you guys today. Just granting permission. I don't still have permission. I want to share my PPT. Probably you should put down what you have.
Helen, you can stop sharing. Let me see. Okay, Ballah, you can try now again.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I want to be a little fast. You get I received your letter, and the content seems to be something a lot. So I'm not sure I can be able to do a very basic one that I hope we can talk to. It would be good that I be getting reaction in the chat room so I know that I'm still connected before maybe network driving. I'm talking to myself. So please make sure there is some reactions in the chat room so I know that I'm connected. Is that okay? Right. So thank you. Like the person who introduced it, I'm a Chinese scholar as well, so I've been there, just right where you are. I was there 10 years, a decade of my life in China. So I did my medical study there, my specialization there. So altogether, 10 years of my productive life in China. So proud to be with you here today to just talk about safety. And I think this is quite laudable. Thank you to the current leadership for doing this, because some of us, we just find our way through some kind of way. So I think it's better to get guidance. So I'll quickly be running you through the health guide. I know your general topic. You have 3 phases, but I'll run you through healthcare guide. Try to make it very practical for newcomers in China. And this is what I will run you through quickly, then we can talk. I'll make it a little interactive at the end. So we'll look at navigating healthcare in China. So I'll talk about emergency care. And then common medications, especially when you just go to China. Few months later, you're into winter, and then you're switching between all those different seasons. You know, the cold, the cough, the diarrhea. Of you that are very brave, you try a lot of different things. Then diarrhea, and sometimes you're confused. You come from Liberia, where you can just run to the pharmacy and buy medication. So we'll look at some common medications that you can also get from the pharmacy. The one you can get from the pharmacy as well. I think that would be quite helpful, especially for you might probably get sick just a couple of days in between there. Then we talk something quickly about mental health, stress management, and then sexual, because I know that session can be very interactive. People can very important. emergency, China usually is not 911, it's 120 to call, and they by any nearby hospital to call usually. It's possible if you need to assist you as well. So that's why the ambulance 120 ready somewhere you can save your number if the newcomer and the people welcoming you having tell you that save 120. Timing usually China is good. Response to emergency is quite speeded. I can tell you that because I work in a hospital. Usually arrive in, even though sometimes in some city that are really busy. Based on traffic. You have to go with your passport. Go with your passport, and then if you are on insurance, with your insurance details. So that's okay. So how does healthcare work in China? I know there are people who are living in China. Some of them people do not go to hospital, or some people live in China long, but they don't really know how the Chinese hospital system work. Yeah, I was quite busy, but I used to have trouble with a lot of that people from my church, from my school, like the foreign community. You know, people go to hospital like, oh, Dad, can you help me? Can you follow me? How can I see the doctor? How can I do this? And so it's good generally. China is good for very of how the health system works. Hospitals, they are private hospitals, even though very few, but they are private hospitals. So we have both public hospitals and private hospitals. So this is the thing, the public hospitals, because China has a good company system. So the public hospitals are the bigger ones, and they have the whatever, anything. If it's your skin, your eyes, your nose, your brain, anything. So you can practically see in hospitals. And also the challenge there is that waiting time is long. You have lot of people going to the hospital. So the queue, a lot of people, and language. But yes, there are also private hospitals. So usually at the public hospital, basically this is what you expect in terms of the processes, registration. So usually you have to pay. It's cheaper, but you have to pay. So you will hear this. I know some people who refuse to learn Chinese, but keep them up. That's the registration if you to the hospital. Many other places, even to the bank. So usually you're gonna pay front when you go to register, it is as cheap as 10 yuan at many government hospitals, 10 yuan to see, a doctor, right? And so when you get registered, you get a number. Yeah, they'll send you to see the doctor, the kind of doctor you register for, whether it's the skin, whether it's your stomach, whether it's your back, whatever. So when you see the doctor, they will order some tests for you based on your complaint. And then you'll be required to go and pay for that test, do the test, get the results. Then you go through the results and then prescribe medication. Then you go to the pharmacy, pick your medication. So that's basically the process at the government. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
At the private hospital, so at the private hospital, you will wait shorter. Most of the international hospital, you won't really stay long. The line is not very long. You will have English speaker. Maybe you have an English speaking doctor, even if it is mama who at least, some kind of English speaking will be there. Direct billing, but usually the cost is usually high. Yeah, it's usually a little expensive at the private hospital, the international hospital. Most of the private hospitals, you don't just walk in, especially for emergency. To a private hospital, usually you have to get a hospital name and then go online, find the site. It can be on WeChat and register a book. But yes, if it is emergency, you can walk in there as well. So I think that's quite important information. So they're almost similar process. If you do the booking, then you go see the doctor. But at the private hospital, you see the doctor, they will have people to guide you through, no rush, And usually at the government hospital, because the patients are many and the doctor has so many work, so we do not stay long. We do not stay long on one patient. It's quite. You don't be surprised at the public hospital while you in another person enter. The doctor will be there and say, yeah, you just wait, with your uncle, the other person, So if you from a place like Liberia, when you enter the doctor office, you and the doctor, you'll be shocked at the public hospital because again, be 3 in that doctor room. The doctor say, okay, the 2-person wait. Your uncle, go. What happened to you? Where your test? So at the public hospital is really fast. No too much talking. So you may be like, I thought I came to see the doctor. How is that quick? Because we have long lines, we have a lot of patients coming in, so it's usually fast. At the private hospital, you will have that international flavor. It's you and the doctor and the nurse. There's no rush. You can take your own time. You can talk, but you'll pay plenty of money. After the test, they will guide you to go. I remember my 2016, my wife was there with me. I was in enough at that time. I have to take her to the hospital. I took her to the private hospital. She felt so fine. Then I told her we need to try the private hospital. We went there. She said, don't never try it. Right? So you have that care, the nurse will be with you, what kind of test to do, guiding you. I know you guys are students. Nobody's going to get pregnant to born baby there. But if you born baby in a private hospital, you want to born another one. The service is at that era, right? So there is direct billing, but the price is high, okay? You also have to pay. If you don't have insurance, it can be very, very expensive. And then if it is OPD, you go, you pay your money, the doctor order the test, the guy, you get your medication. So I'm running quite a little fast. So common medication for illness for newcomer. I want us to look at this quickly. So in-person appointment is very, very important. So I'm not encouraging you to go start buying medicine. So yet the Ballah finish you all. It's a medicine and suma here I get few. I'll just look at the picture and go for medicine. No, that's not what I'm encouraging you to do. Please go to the hospital. When you meet a doctor in person, usually most of the Chinese say OPD look like this. I just pick up one of those pictures from online to give you a picture. Some of you in your city, you get quite beautiful hospital than this. So go there, see the doctor, right? But in the instances where you can't go to the hospital, or sometimes you think it's just the change in season. You need to get something from the pharmacy quickly. There is cold, there is cough. Yeah, these are the basic medication. Like in Liberia, you can easily get your PCM, uh, brufen, paracetamol from the pharmacy. So I also want to guide you. I know many of you, especially newcomers, when you don't even know the name in medicine, you think for one. I want paracetamol. You can find you use your Google Translate, someone can translate back with it. In China, I have to work medicine. I want the farm hospital. Cold and congestion. This happening a lot. Winter to summer or between there, and it can be a little crazy. Can you hear me? I see Rufin shaking her head, so you can hear me. Okay. So you might need to know, I put a pin in there. You might need to know some of these very basic one. Ga, Mao, Ling, Collect. Yes. So that's like for, you may hear Gamao, yeah. But yeah, this is one basic one. I also picked the picture. So this is actually a combination of Chinese medicine and Western medicine. Is usually used. You can get it one from the pharmacy. You don't need prescription. It can be used if you're having cold, like really congestions, right? It can help. So, but you should avoid it if you already having your paracetamol. The big thing I put acetaminophen in paracetamol. If you're taking paracetamol, then you don't take this one. Yeah, it's not. It won't be a good combination. So stay on cold and congestion. These are some basic one you can get from the small prescription. I can say this one to you. So by Teah, yes, the Chinese name is a antihistamine as well. It's good, almost like the cold tap, cold clear. Again, in Liberia, those are you being Liberia, they feed it just left from here. Cold clear, like Chinese cold clear there. Yeah, it can help. So they also have the last one is a discongestion. So this Chinese name will be very important because if you go to the small pharmacy, they don't know what you call cold clear. They know what you call cold tap. So, but if you tell them buy Teah, they will find it for you, and it will save you, some really irritation overnight. Buy Teah. So maybe fever or general pain. Yeah, you just came from Liberia. Maybe you decide to obfuscate. You follow people to the gym, or you just passing all around the place. Poop. Then you start having pain. Maybe you follow all the weekend. You follow the Liberian student in your city. I see you're having a lot of welcome party. When you climb the hill, you climb the mountain. You come by your entire joint, everything hurting. You can get some pain medication. In Liberia, you probably just take your Tylenol, right, your PCM quickly. But yeah, you can also get Tylenol. This is actually your first choice. It's called antifen, which generally can be, so this can be very, very helpful as well. So throat. So I put just one picture here of some of them. So for throat, you can get Tren B, P Pi Gao. You can also get things that because these names more like China was then allergics. Yeah,
Is it just me, or I noticed that Dr. Ballah just left? So I think it's the internet.
Yes, I think so too. I think it's
Yeah, Rufin, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I was speaking about the other speaker, Dr. Ballah.
Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Ballah. But
I got disconnected. Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can hear you now.
I think I was to the allergic. Is that right? I got disconnected from the allergic. Is that correct?
yeah.
So, the sore throat
Can you hear
and cough.
me?
Sore
Okay.
throat and cough.
So I think I'll. Okay. Oh, sore throat and cough. Yes. So I just completed a sore throat and cough. So the next one is allergic. So usually you can get loratadine. Loratadine is kai tweet thai. Yes. So I got a picture here of one of them. This could be helpful with allergy. So lastly, diarrhea and upset stomach. I put it one to the end, the common medicine, because I know, especially when you just go the food, the food. Yeah, I remember the second week in China, my stomach wrong. Because I was one of the brave guy in 2011, one of the brave guy in Mama Group. Yeah, in China, in Shandong. Yeah, ran all around to all the places and say, everybody's scared. I said, I'll try it. The second week or not easy. So, but yes, of course, ORS helps a lot. So I think many of you know when your stomach wrong, what you can do. Well, it's just that started. Well, I'm going to get ORS. Yeah, ORS is the Chinese. Yeah, do your state Liperma. So that is the Liperma in Chinese. Good picture there for you. So I think that's basic for especially for newcomers who will come, and I mean this helps not even when the students. Some teachers they get really stuck with those basic things. The teachers they may not be doctors, so they can speak Chinese, but they may not be able to help you immediately. You may get a Chinese speaking person who is not a doctor, who is not medically inclined, not because they can speak Chinese. So before they can be able to connect with a doctor, Chinese doctor to help you, and the environment will be quite very important for you. Other basic supply you could keep in your home, your dormitory. Well, digital thermometer, you can check your own temperature. Very good. And these things are quite cheap in China. You can buy. And it's good to have bandage, maybe bandages, and then sterile gauze. You can just stick it there, and it's okay. So antiseptic is quite good. You can do cleaning, cut, swab. Okay, someone were interrupting. Then, of course, some of you guys, you may get reaction insect. You can have different things happening. Your skin could just react. It's good to have different, nasal spray. Some spray those area. You can thing. So can you hear me? Okay. You don't get the VP of Mantola, someone focus says you can't do nothing to me. Okay. So mental health and stress management. This one I'm not going to be long. Try to manage your stress, and I will use some. And China is good. Gyms are cheap. In fact, some of your campus you may have free gyms, right? You ought to pay money. If you want to go to the really luxurious, better one, it's also cheap, right? It's good to exercise. Yes, exercise is a stress management technique. So learn to exercise. If you can exercise, sometimes whether stress from Chinese language, stress from cultural shock, I expect, especially if you're a newcomer, there will be a lot of cultural shock. A lot of cultural shock, right? A lot of things you don't expect. So going for exercise will help you. If you are in your dormitory room, somewhere for exercise is very important. Get involved, country mates, religious group. If you are Christian, go to church, find an international church. I hear many, you say, no church in China, there are international churches. Yeah, you can go there. I remember one of the cities I was in, there were not even an international church. I went to the Chinese church to improve my Chinese. You can imagine that. But I just wanted to be in a community, right? It helps reduce stress. And if you can, I'm saying the community thing to be very important. I know some of you this Zoom because you won't be bothered with Liberians. So if you won't be bothered with Liberians, find some kind of group. Yeah. So if you want to be bothered with Liberians, you want to be bothered with any religious group, you Muslim, you can go, you can join the Muslim, you Christian, you can join the Christian, you can join a student group, even on your campus, the international student, nothing. You get depressed. Yes. And stress, depression can kill. So I would advise one major stress management therapy is being part of a small group. And I think one of the areas you could fit better is here with your country mates, right? Like the student union here, religious group, church group, other students group, it helps, then exercise. But there are some instances it can get really complicated if you really notice, and sometimes it's very difficult to accept, right? People will be telling you, I can fund you the way
The internet is really, really bad that we cannot even hear you. It sounds like you're
depressed or you actually stressed and you will deny it. People tell you, look, but this time you look a little bit unkept. Why your problem? If it's somebody who is opinion. Can you hear me?
Well, yeah,
You say you can hear me?
It's okay now. It's okay now.
Yeah.
Oh, is it because I was talking? Stress part, then you can hear me again. Okay, so I was saying the complicated part of the stress. And unfortunately, you didn't hear that. I had to go back. If it get complicated and you're somebody who used to probably paint your lip very well, and your friends are telling you, but this time you can put any and thing on your lip again, or you're looking a little bit unkept. You're telling me, no, start checking your stress level as well. Maybe you're somebody who, love to look good and stuff, but this time you can just, do something funny. There could be a situation where stress really, really get complicated. In that case, then it's good to go to the hospital. Medical help. Okay? Mental health hospital, there are a lot of private hospital services. They talk to you in English, they will help, right? If your friends start telling you things, lip, now I don't pay my lip, maybe my friends are telling me funny things. So is there anything I need to talk to the doctor? So that quite important. Hope you can hear me. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
Doc, we're hearing you now.
Okay, so Rufin, I'm seeing you, so you should be shaking your head if you hear me. Okay, so bringing prescription to China or medication. There is this other complicated aspect. You guys asked me to talk about drug abuse and prevention or awareness, but there are medications. There are certain people on certain medications. You need to carry your medications with you, right? Or sometimes you get it from home. So there are medications that you can there are medications that you can take with you, you can get from your country to take with you. And there are others that are not allowed. So the certain people who on certain specific medication. I talked to somebody who was diabetic, and they actually got their medication from Liberia, and they ran out of medication. They didn't know how to go to the hospital to get that same medication, and they couldn't get that medication from Liberia within that time. So that was the problem. So, but there are certain specific, if you're on specific medication for certain thing, for certain diagnosis, it's good to get your medication with you from your home country like Liberia, because brand and stuff may be different. But you can also go with the original one, and you can once it has a clear prescription from the doctor printed on it, with your name, your diagnosis, and the duration of the doses and all of that. Yes, you can carry it. If there is a Chinese translation, that could even be more helpful. And to refill in China, maybe that same medication finish while you're in China, you can go, but it's good as well to know there may be different brand. There could be different strength in China that couldn't work the same way. So it's good to make sure that what you're getting, even if you go to the hospital, what you're getting is the same brand, is the same strength. Or else you could get different generic that won't be good for you. So, but you can actually take medication with you. There are certain medications that are considered drugs that you need prescription for, right? Certain strong painkillers, certain strong sedative, like your tramadol and all of that. People can misuse that. So there are these kind of medications that are not allowed except you have a permission. So usually if you have to travel with medication like that, you have to check the Chinese embassy, cancelates the custom and travel processes, make sure that it is okay to go, or else you could be arrested for that kind of medication. And I know China have a very strong law on these kind of medications, because these can be misused, can be abused. So let me say this: all medications are good, but they could be misused. So the people can become drugs addicts. Even the paracetamol, those medications that I talk about, even the one you can get from the pharmacy, if you take them wrongly or you overtake them, you abuse drugs. So as good as tramadol is, oh yeah, you didn't know that tramadol is very good, but people now use it and become drugs addicts, right? So you can misuse drugs. So these kind of strong painkillers and strong medication, like some medication for ADHD, yes, there will be strict restriction on them because they can be misused, and so you won't be allowed to take them with you. Lastly, so this one, I just put one sentence, and then I'll make it interactive, then open for question. So condoms and menstrual products are widely available. So I know as a pastor, somebody say, how the man say condom in there also? Yes. There are some things, even if I tell you not to do, you still do it. So, and I like what you said. So being informed and staying safe will be better, right? And so sexual health, I think preventing sexual transmitted infection is quite important, compared to me advising you how to get antibiotics. Yeah. So if my first advice, my first choice, whether male or female, is will be abstinence. Yeah, if you're not married, if you are legally dating, right, or you legally cohabiting, and you have to have sex, then use condom. Condom is available in China. You can get it from the pharmacy. You don't need they get asking for your passport to send it to you. Also, ladies, there are other contraceptive medications that could be very helpful for you. Like some of you in Liberia, somebody asked me that I've been looking for a lady in China. I didn't get lady in China. They get lady in China. Yeah. So like if you have unprotected sex in the first 2 hours, there are contraceptive medication you can take. So this is the Chinese version 1, just in case you have 2 and you're not sure. You can take it. It's 1 tablet, but it works only in the first 2 hours. After 2 hours, anything happen, you can't do nothing about it. It will be there. Anything you do, that kidding you can. So, but yeah. I wanted to make this very short, that there are a lot of protective measures you can put into place to save healthy. So again, I will end with your words. Stay informed, stay healthy, and stay safe. I hope I said the basic, and then maybe during question and answer, we can talk.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ballah. So, everyone, the floor is open. We'll take 3 questions. For me, I learned that if I go to the hospital and they say ni hao, gua hao, hao bu hao, they're asking me what's wrong. And the emergency number is 120. And it's good to stay calm, give your discreet, your street, and possibly a nearby landmark will also be helpful in getting the ambulance to you quickly. So, are there any questions?
Lovely has her hands up, so probably she wanna ask a question.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everybody. And before I ask my question, Talaba, thank you very much for your presentation. You make mention of some kind of mental deficiency, right? Or mental or sickness, or should I say diagnosis. So how can one have a proper diagnosis when they properly have self-diagnosed themselves, especially in China?
Okay. So I would say that you probably, so 2 things. If you have been diagnosed before, then you already know your diagnosis, right? So that's different. But you won't be able to diagnose yourself. But it's possible you know your diagnosis. You've been to the hospital maybe prior to going to China, and you've been, so you have this, whatever situation. So you know, just in case you start to have symptoms or something happening to you in past medical history, you should be able to tell the doctor that. That make your investigation a little easier. They will be able to track your history, right? So it's not diagnosing yourself, right? When I talk about being on specific medications, maybe you already was on a medication for something you know of, Like I mentioned, ADHD, that's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. There are people who know they have that, right? Yes,
Yeah.
so definitely, okay, I was told I have attention deficit hyperactivities disorder before, but I noticed that changing environment, in China, maybe the stress, the cultural shock. I think my friends are saying I'm behaving a little funny. So definitely people know where to start from with you. So that's what I meant.
Yeah, I understand, but like I like how can you, like, say for example, you feel like you have all of the symptoms and signs of that actually point to OCD, bipolar, or ADHD, right? But then you haven't like had a proper diagnosis. So how can one locate a a proper diagnosis center to actually have themselves diagnosed or checked?
Okay, so two things. One, if you want to go to the public hospital, then it's good. If your language is not good, get somebody who can properly translate for you, because that will help you to be able to see, preferably in that case, you should be able to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, right? So you have to know the kind of specialist you want to see. If you can locate a private hospital, international hospital around your area, that would be a good choice, because most of the international hospital or clinics do have mental health services, because they actually know there will be cultural shock for internationals, workers, and students. So you easily even get a foreign psychiatric or psychology to be able to walk you through your process of diagnosis and even helping you manage. So my first advice would be, if you can locate an international hospital or clinic, that would be your first choice, because I know in China, many of those international hospital and clinic do have that services, because that are primary for foreigners living in China, not just Africans, I mean Europeans, American. That's a primary care. So if you can't, then going to the public hospital, yes, you can also have a care like that, but you need to get the appropriate doctor, which is a psychiatry or psychology. And you need somebody who can really translate to make sure you see the proper specialist. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I hope that helped. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ballah. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here tonight. Okay. Our
Thank
next
you.
speaker.
There is no question. I say thank you, and I don't know why the network keep dropping especially when I'm talking about the lipstick and all of that. But yes, thank you guys. Thank you for having me. Sorry I can't stay on. I have to go. I have another meeting. But thank you. Keep safe.
Thank you. Yes, Dr. Ballah, you can turn off your. Thank you. Our next speaker is the National President, Honorable Olano Teah Bloh, and he will speak to us on fire safety and accommodation safety. Honorable Bloh is a PhD student studying computer science and technology at Hoha University. He's currently an alumni, visa, and admission ambassador at Hoha University. He is a certified network associate and routing engineer of MicroTech, MTCNA, and MTCRE, a certified Ubiquiti Wireless Broadband Administrator, UBWA, a certified system administrator, a certified Siemens process control engineer, a member of the China Society of Image and Graphics. From 2011 to 2017, he worked for many NGOs and other entities, including eHealth Africa, ACEL, etc., as an ICT personnel. He served as the Vice President of the Liberian Student Union in China, LSUIC, between 2019 to 2020. President Emeritus of the College of Electrical Engineering and New Energy, China 3 Gorge University. He is the founder and CEO of Teah Innovative Tech, TIT, providing tech education globally. He has many academic papers, plus more that are honor reviews. He has many other accolades to his name that can be listed in this short time. Ladies and gentlemen, your speaker.
All right, thank you so much. Please confirm if you can hear me either through the comment section or any other means.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you. And thanks once more to the AEC, the PPC, the National President, and to all of the members of LSUIC for participation. I think we have all been learning from all of the speakers. I hope that you take a lot of screenshots. That was being recommended by the Ballah. And also advice from the Esther, Liberian embassy in Beijing, and every other thing that's been happening, especially your visa and your passport expiration dates. They are very important. So I'll be speaking to you on fire and accommodation safety. It's not, this presentation is not to scare you, or it's not to make you something. The theme of this program is someone. Okay, so the first home away from home is LSUIC, especially here in China. Always hear people say safety first. Even in the airline, though they don't want the plane to crash, it's not a desire that.
President, sir, it's like you're using an extended microphone. We are hearing the feedback. It's not so okay.
Okay. Let me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, let me try to do that quickly. Use one. Sharing. Yeah, so you've been hearing safety first. Water on an airline. There's not a desire that that plane is going to crash. You understand that?
Recording in
progress. Please confirm now if you can, if the sound is okay.
Yes, it's better now. Thank you.
All right. Sorry for a little pause. So things to consider as a new student, and probably some of us, the old people, is that we are in a new environment now. We are no longer home, and wherever we are, there are different buildings and designs and some electrical and technical systems that are around us, and also emergency protocol. So we have to firstly identify or recognize that we are not in our own space, probably wherever we were before coming to China. So it's important to firstly understand that. And secondly, to understand that the fire prevention is possible, but it's only possible when you have the best knowledge and the best defense strategies. So that's one reason we are here today, in as much as we want to talk about accommodation. Also, the empowerment will come through this discussion or through this talk that we'll be having. It's also important to know your accommodation. Probably you just coming from home and you are in your own space back home, and now you don't want to share space with anyone. So you might be living off campus, usually in an apartment, or you might be living on campus. And for many of the students, you will be on campus, that is on a dormitory. And with the dormitory, maybe some of your schools, they usually come to do check regularly. The IE will just bounce on your door and just open it anyhow. So on-campus accommodation or dormitories, they will have this kind of a check going on here and there, ensuring that you have every other thing needed, just in case of any problem or emergency. Also, it's important for you to identify some safety equipment that are in your surrounding. So maybe later during the day, you can just try to observe your environment as you are just coming, understand where this thing at, understand where you can get certain things from. So you just be aware and be informed. For those off campus, basically they will be the old people, but to some of you, the new people as well. Your landlord will take much more responsibility for the inspection, but you also have to take that responsibility yourself because you are the one now in charge of that apartment. So whatever you do there is very important. Maybe if the dormitory, something happened that is not in your own control, there can still be weight of the school trying to help. But if you are in another person's place renting, you cause this problem, it might be something worse than you might expect. So try to understand that when you are in campus, the school try to cover up most of the security check for you. But if you are off campus, meaning you are a big boy or a big girl, so you should be able to take care of yourself and take care of things that are around you. So it's advisable to not just rush off campus if you are a new student. Firstly, try to live on campus for a year. And after a year, then you can basically maybe move out. Maybe by the time you have already adjusted yourself to living in China and understanding where to get a certain thing from. So don't just rush to go off campus. Also, there are 5 hazards in student accommodation, or top 5. I shouldn't just say 5, but there are many other things that we do have, especially during the season. You'll find people using the electric heater and blankets a lot during this winter time. And for those of you that just come in, maybe you might hear about it, and you just go and buy it and put it on the bed, not understanding that probably you need to have some other layers of bedding or sheets on top of that, and you just expose it. Probably you just put it on the bed directly, rib by rib, and you just pluck in, you jump onto the sleep. So you might be causing harm for yourself. So please don't try to do that. Ask your friends around if they have used it. If you're buying the electric blanket especially, because that's something that you're going to have a direct contact with. Make sure that you have additional beddings that you're going to place the electric blanket on it so that you don't have a direct or immediate contact with the device. Also, the overloaded electrical sockets, you have to make sure that you are not buying the cheap adapters. And with the cheap adapters, things are going to get blown up so quickly. Probably your phone, it might even affect your phone charger, and some other things that you have. So try, in as much as you want to buy cheap things, or you're trying to manage whatever minimum resources you have, make sure that the computer is much more valuable than that socket. So if you value the computer, if you value whatever device that you are connecting or plugging into that thing, ensure that you buy the proper and a high quality one. Because you might not know if you have so many things on it, probably we'll get that later on in the talk. You just plug everything on that adapter that cannot take much weight or much devices, and you just leave everything there unattended and you go to class, things start to spark up. Maybe the surge protector in the adapter cannot be able to withstand the load. Also, cooking without care. Whenever you are cooking, try to make sure that you don't leave the things unattended. If you are sharing a space with others, maybe you can tell your friend to come in the kitchen and monitor things while you go in the room to get something. Or if no one is there, you can either reduce the heat or turn it off properly, go and get what you want to get, and then come back. Understand as well that grease fire or grease fires, they are very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. You may just have your skin being peeled off immediately. So whenever you are dealing with something like butter and greasy things, be very careful when you are cooking. Also, the counterfeit or faulty electronics, that's those unbranded things, the electric kettles, the charger, the hair straighteners, and all these things can probably cause short circuits. And with the short circuits, you're going to have some things blowing off, and you're going to have probably a spark of fire going on there. So try. You don't want to pay for somebody's building. You don't have money for that. You don't want to put yourself into extra expenditure that you never imagined or planned for. Also, don't let your balcony or corridor become a storage room. So try to clear your balcony, try to clear the corridor of your apartment or wherever you usually pass. Try to make sure that these areas, they are always clear. Because if, for example, there is any incident in these areas, they are all clustered up with different things, you might not be able to make your way out. Those things might even serve as additional fuel to whatever fire that might occur. So after this talk, maybe tomorrow or even tonight, try to check these things. Press the electricals, making sure that whatever you have, the ones that you have, they are not the cheap ones, or they are not ones that causing problem always. Probably some of you have changed your charger, your phone charger, your computer charger. You have changed it maybe twice or recently, but you don't understand why it is blowing up so quickly. So try to make sure you check them, and don't have this daisy chain of cables and power strips going on. It's the same concept or the same picture that you will see maybe back home, those guys who play music like DJs. They will have so many wires just passing all over the place, or probably you might see it on some concepts. Maybe their cabling knowledge is not that good, so you have wires passing all over the place. You don't want to have your room or your environment to be in similar fashion. So make sure you arrange your cablings very well so that nothing is going to cause problem. And always tell yourself that you will never leave your kitchen when the stove is on, or probably when you still have other things that might cause problem. Because even for some would say plantain, some would say plenty. That guy, whenever you are frying him, and you are closer to him, he's going to behave very well. But the moment you leave him for a second and you turn your back to pick up something, you realize that flint is already started burning. So don't take that risk of leaving things, unattended, and you're going probably somewhere far off. Make sure that you will not leave your kitchen unattended or for a very long time when you have things going on there. For your appliances, encourage yourself as well to unplug all of those high wattage devices, like the kettle, the electric blanket, the heater, and all of that, right after using it. Maybe you're rushing for class. Don't leave these things on. Don't leave these things on. Try to ensure that you turn it off while going for your class or while going for whatever meeting you have. And then clear your balcony, the staircase, the corridor. Make sure you understand your escape routes and make sure they are always clear of any other things that might serve as obstacles to you. And your smoke detectors. Some of you will have it in the ceiling of your apartment, or you might have it somewhere in place either by your university or yourself or your landlord. Just try to understand where it is, and even if it is active, you could either trick it by getting something closer to it and see if it's going to alarm, or you can have a test button there to press it and see if there will be any sound. So that you don't just have something that is not working, just hanging off that as a beauty. And the day you need it, you are not able to get any feedback from your smoke detector. Also, it's important to know where you can find these things, or even if you have some of them, like the fire extinguisher. If you stay in a dormitory, the school usually going to take charge of these things to make sure that fire extinguisher are placed on each and every floor of the dormitory. As well as the fire alarm, you have some button there, probably within the corridor near the extinguisher box. You will have this button there for you can press, just in case there will be fire in the building or fire on the floor. Also, for your smoke detector, you always make sure that you test it. Or for some dormitories, I think probably when you are cooking and there are smokes, or probably there are some other tension, or the heat's getting that much, yours have been tested, or probably you get some feedback. But if you have it for a long time, try to make sure that you test it, or you can even call the IE to even check it. And also recognize or know where your emergency exit points are, so that in terms of difficulties or trying to make your way around, you can find it very, very quickly. So there is a globally recognized acronym to remember in case of fire. That is RAISE, and it is to rescue. You can rescue anyone in danger, but always make sure that you save yourself first. Make sure you save yourself first, because if you are safe, then you can save others. The next one is the alarm. We talked about it in the previous slide. Make sure to find where it is, because if you don't know where it is and that moment comes, you are under pressure and you are so confused. Like everything on your mind right now is like, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. So you don't care about finding the fire alarm switch. So you just want to go out very, very quickly. So make sure you find it and activate it. The next thing is to confine. Close all the doors and the windows to contain the fire and the smoke. Close the door and the window to contain the fire and the smoke. Let it just, instead of burning the entire building down, you can just sacrifice your place for the rest of the other people, so the fire don't just keep moving or traveling here and there. And the next one is to evacuate. So after doing that, make sure you use the stairs. Do not use the elevator whenever in any building when there is a fire incident. Do not use the elevator, because you might just get stuck up in there. Once the electrical system is down, the elevator is going to stop. You should know that it's very, very easy. Once there is fire and it triggers anything, the electrical system is down, or whatever technical system that controls the elevator is down, that elevator is going to stop. And imagine you are in it at that point in time. So always use the stairs when these things are happening. So remember, raise, RACE, rescue, alarm, confine, and evacuate. That I was talking about the 120 for ambulance and medical emergency. Also, you have the fire alarm. You can call 119. Whenever you call, that means you are calling fire service to come. And whenever you dial 110, you are calling the police. So it's very important to save this number on your phone right now. 119 for fire alarm, police 110, sorry, and ambulance or medical 120. And if you call, you probably just try to speak very clearly, especially knowing that you are in the environment you are in, and English might not be the perfect language for them. So try to speak very clearly and give your exact address, other than the university name, the building number, and all of that, and the status of your case or the kind of emergency it is. So that way, when they are coming, they know how to come and how prepared they should be. Also, keep yourself and your belongings safe. Keep yourself and your belongings very safe. Things to also consider is to always make sure that you lock your doors and your windows, even if you are just going to shower. It is safe in China, for the most part, I would say, but make sure to always lock your doors and your windows when you are not around, especially your doors. Maybe for some of you that are in a higher story building, you don't have to worry much about windows, but most importantly, your door. Try to always make sure you close your door because your passport, your degrees, and other documents are in that place. Don't just trust that because China is safe, I'm going to just leave everything anyhow and just move about my business. If your passport is missing, it's going to cause some delay. So even if police will find it, but understand that there will be delay and other problems. Your key, do not lend your keys out. And always don't have a spare key in a place where people always can find it or recognize it. You never know. China is safe, I would say, but you never know. So make sure you keep your keys, lock your doors. And also be cautious about letting people you don't know into your building or into your room. If you have a visitor, probably somebody you don't really know, you guys can talk outside or find a public place and you guys can talk. Avoid letting them into your private space. We talk about keeping your balcony very clean and making sure that no other obstacles are there. That way, you don't have to lean over or place any heavy object on the railings, like the place you can hold on the balcony. So make sure that you don't have these kind of things, because any mistake right there, imagine you are on the 14th floor, 17th floor, 20th floor. We don't pray for that. So be very safe when you go into these kind of places. But sometimes our Africanness can always speak to us whenever we are looking down over a very tall building or trying to look over. The thought is not like, oh, this place is very beautiful. The thought is always like, why if you fall? Imagine if you fall. So for that one, we don't have to talk much about it because the Africanness in you will not allow you to just do anything anyhow. For gas safety, if you smell anything like a rotten egg, just make sure that's gas. So do not switch the light on or off. Just keep it as it is. Open the window and escape and call your landlord or your. I got 3 minutes left. And lastly, just to summarize, do the 5 minutes check that we talked about previously. Learn the race procedures and also save the 119, the 110, and the 120 for fire, for police, and for medical or emergency. Also know your escape routes and make sure to use the stairs instead of elevator whenever you have something about fire. and be a responsible neighbor. Be a responsible neighbor. Don't be the reason why other people are going to get into problem or lost every other thing that they have saved up. Some people have been around China here for 8, 9, 10, 7 years, and they have accumulated every other thing they have into a space. And imagine you are not being that responsible neighbor, you just allow things to just burn out. So sorry in that case is just a word. You cannot do anything about the person, documents or whatever you have even made them to go through, or even the entire university. So always be a responsible student, be a responsible neighbor for the next person you're sharing the space with. So we hope that this information, you will not need it, because it's not our prayer that you go through any of these things. But being prepared will let you focus on what matters the most, enjoying your incredible experience in China. So stay safe and study very hard, because in LSUIC, we believe in excellence through hard work. So thank you for the time. I have 1 minute left, but thank you. That's all that I have for us today.
Thank you, Prezo. Thank you. We'll have questions now. So if you have questions, you can just raise your hand or drop in the chat. Okay, so clear your balcony. Be mindful of your electrical appliances and know the numbers to call. 120 is ambulance, 110 is the police, and 119 is for fire emergencies. As there are no questions, we'll move to our next speaker, Dr. Christian Mulbah, that will speak to us on culture and social integration. Honorable Edwin Hina Daulo will introduce this speaker. Honorable Edwin, the floor is yours.
Please, can I be heard?
Yes.
All right. Christian Mulbah is a PhD candidate at Jiangsu University, completing his doctorate studies in power engineering and engineering thermophysics with specialization in fluid engineering. His research combines theoretical analysis, numerical simulation, and experimental investigation to address complex problems in multi-phase flow dynamics. His work has been published in several high-impact SCI journals, reflecting his growing recognition in the field. Dr. Mulbah research focuses on 3 key areas with fluid mechanics, two-phase bubble dynamics, droplet impact phenomena, and water entry cavity formation. His studies on methane bubble motion in seawater have advanced the understanding of interfacial behavior and mass transfer process in gas liquid systems. He also investigates droplet impacts on both solid and liquid substrates, including May-air correlation, double rebound jet. He also investigates droplet impact on both solid and liquid substrates, include May-air correlation, double rebound jet phenomenon, and drop jet interaction to reveal mechanism governing spraying and splashing and jet formation in stationary and rotational frames. His third research domain involves the dynamic of cavity formation during water entry. Here he focuses on the manipulation of several pre-entry conditions, 3 phases, contact behavior, and post-impact jet evolution under varying acoustic, and impact environments. Beyond his technical work, Dr. Mulbah had demonstrated strong leadership and mentorship. For instance, as president of the Association of International Engineering Students, AIES, he promoted collaboration and support among international engineering scholars in Xinjiang. He had also served as teaching assistant TA and teaching management assistant TMA at the Overseas Education College and Graduate School of Jiangsu University, where he gathered undergraduate and postgraduate students in both coursework and research activities. Dr. Mulbah is an active reviewer for leading journals such as Faces of Fluid, Chemical Engineering Science, and Ocean Engineering. He currently serves as chairman for the Academic Excellence Committee AEC of the Liberian Student Union in China, LSUIC, where he oversees scholarly events and initiates safeguard student intellectual property and fosters innovation within the academic community of LSUIC. With a PhD completion expected in December, Dr. Mulbah looks forward to advancing his research and applying his expertise to solve real-world challenges in fluid mechanics and related engineering fields. Distinguished scholars, ladies and gentlemen, our speaker.
Okay, thank you so much for that introduction. I'm trying to share my screen, so if the person who's sharing can stop, then I can try to share my screen so we can continue our discussion.
Yeah, you can go ahead and stop screen share.
Can you guys see my screen, please?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I think we can start. So, my name is Christian Mulbah, and thank Scholar Edwin for that introduction. We will talk about a few things that has to do with we will focus on the social aspect of your stay here in China. So in China, there are many things that you need to. So I'm still trying to set up this. Okay, all right. So we will talk about the cultural and social integration in China, and I hope during the lecture there are many things that you can take from it, because we will be in the process of learning from each other. So let's start today. We have the content I have for you guys today, a structure in a way where we'll talk about maybe we will first look at the do's and don'ts in China, academically, culturally, etc. And then we will talk about building a support network in China. Then we'll take a look at joining some students' organization, etc. Then we will talk a little bit about maybe finding engagement, and we will integrate all of them. So quickly, we are going to start with the do's and don'ts culturally in China. So we will talk about your everyday interaction here and in academic, professional, and maybe uh, everyday settings. So what you should understand is that in China, there are many things that are expected of you, even as a student here in China. So there are many etiquettes that you have to take into consideration when you go about your normal lives in China. You should use, maybe, for example, say using both hands if you want to talk, maybe you want to shake somebody's hands, and maybe like respecting people's spaces and trying to avoid loud arguments in China. And most of you have a lot of reasons to be late. And in China, from my experience with my supervisor, etc., being late is not actually an excuse, because if you are late, you just show that you do not respect the engagement that you're faced with. It does not matter if you're late for 1 minute, for 10 minutes. No, you have to be in time. And there are things that you should not do in China. You should not maybe criticize the Chinese political system publicly, at least. You should not talk about the structure of government. You should not discuss anything that is related to politics in China, at least publicly. And you should also for example, if somebody gave you a gift in China, if you don't want that gift, you should not abruptly refuse it. Maybe it's like somebody giving you a cigarette and you cannot smoke. Then you're like, oh, why can you give me a cigarette? No, no, no. You have to be calm in your daily activities. Now let's move to the academic activities that you will be involved in. So in academia, one thing you should understand is that the hierarchies in academia is all about respect. It's all about communication. So if you're dealing with your supervisor or your mentor or whoever that person is, you should try to give them as much respect as you can. For example, you do not just call your instructor anyhow by name, or you do not call, if your instructor is a female, do not say, hey, hi dear, those kind of things. You do not do it. So you should always submit your work you have to do. Try to submit them on time. If you submit your work you have on time, it shows that you have responsibility and you are responsible to everything you do. And also try to cite the sources whenever you are doing a work. Plagiarism is a serious crime. So most of you have gone to internship, have had internship opportunities, etc. There are ways that you should handle yourself on a professional scene. Like, for example, you need to dress appropriately if you're on a professional scene. Try to dress appropriately. If you're going for a formal occasion, do not wear jeans and maybe you wear, it seems that you guys see me. So it seems that my video is not even, oh God. Okay. Okay. I'm continuing where I stopped. I'm sorry you guys are not seeing me. I think you can see me now.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this interview. Stop sharing. Can you see? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to. Okay, okay. So, can you see my screen?
No.
Please, can you see my screen?
No.
Okay. I try to reshare it again and see. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see your screen now.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry about that. I think we were. I'm sorry for the break-in. I think we were to the professional setting. Okay. So there are a few things that we already talked about. We talked about you should dress formally and arrive on time. And you should not use vocal languages like maybe you're talking to your boss and say maybe hi boss. Those kind of things, they're not professional. And you should always be creative. If you're acting in your workplace, you should always maybe be curious and do not act disinterested in the things that you're doing because you are like debuting as maybe this could be a job that you could handle. So quickly, I have a few questions for you guys. You can post in a message. So I want you to maybe tell me one polite behavior you have noticed in China, especially for the new students. If you leave from Liberia and come in China, there are many cultural shock and differences. And one of the cultural differences that I think I got adjusted to when I came first is that when the people do that, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was really. When I came first, it was not easy for me, but I tend to understand these kind of stuff. And also, I want you to tell me, like, how do you usually address your professors, as we know back home in Liberia, and the way you are addressing them here? Do you notice any cultural differences? And then, how are the classroom behavior in China versus Liberia? I think in China, most of the times the instructors expect you to be eager to learn, so they don't really monitor. And most students, almost 90% of the students, play on their phone and they are very distracted. So do not, if you cross cultural, you should always try to pick the positive and don't just pick the negative where the instructor will just be reading the PPT and don't care about you. So please address those questions and then maybe you can send them in the Zoom chat. And then we'll quickly move on to building a positive network. We'll talk about maybe mapping your circle and then maintaining that circle. And then we'll take a few questions, audience questions. And this time you have to text your questions. For mapping your circle, one thing you should understand is that the circle, there are three basic codes. The first one is the inner code, those people like your best friend, your classmate, or that person you can confide in. It may not be in your city, somewhere else where you really trust. That can be your inner circle. You should work with these people. These people are the people who can help you. You can share with them your problems and etc. And we also, apart from those people, you should also take it upon yourself to expand maybe your network. Try to engage with people that are from different backgrounds and they're from different culture. They'll give you different perspectives about things that you've been looking at maybe just one way. And you should also find a mentor. The mentor can be someone, maybe an instructor or maybe a senior student or maybe somebody from in the faculty staff that will have to guide you in case you're facing some problems, etc. And then you can use other campus network. Like for example, in my school, we have many associations. You got the engineering, you got the Joel, the ladies stuff, you got maybe the sport. So you should expand your network. If you enter in those organizations, what you do is that you make requisite connection that expand your network and gradually teach you leadership, where you can maybe attend some of their programs and subsequently you become one of the leaders that give you the opportunity to share your experiences, etc. So we'll also go on to, I'm not keeping the time. Somebody should remind me about the time. On maintaining those networks. So it's one thing to get the network and it's a whole complete different story to maintaining the network. Even me, Sometimes I'm not good at maintaining a network. So if you get in touch with somebody, you have a relationship with somebody, even you have a relationship, friendship relationship with that person, you have to communicate with that person often. It cannot be you communicating with this person just because the fact that, okay, you now have some problem that you want to the person to solve, then you try communicating with them. No, 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 no. So the person will just see you as somebody who is very exploitive. So you should give back to that relationship. Give back by showing kindness, by contributing to the relationship that you have with the person. You can have somebody can love you to the moon. If you do not maintain a relationship, if they only know that you are talking to them because you are in need of something, they kind of do not value your relationship at all. And it's understandable to not value people's relationship, especially those who behave that kind of way. So you should also, sometimes there will always be problems in your relationship. There will be problems. There will be problems. And when the problem comes, you should handle them calmly. You should always stay calm, no matter what the problem is. You should always stay calm and then address the problem with sincerity and always open that dialogue. The dialogue will kind of solve the problem. And be open to learn in all kind of situation. Be open to learn, be open to get new connection, be open to get new mentor, etc. Always be open, be an open-minded person. So we'll take few audience questions, and at this time I want, maybe if I have 15 seconds, somebody can come in by raising your hands, or you can text in a group chat. I want you to answer a few questions. The fourth question tonight will be, who is your go-to person when you get stuck? Everybody should have that kind of person in China, because if you have that person in Liberia and it's maybe this time in Liberia, you are jam here in China, it's midnight in Liberia, you cannot efficiently communicate. And even if you have financial problem, they will not be able to help you right away. So you need to have that go-to person that you think, if this person don't even have money or don't even have this person will walk on tones to get this thing for me. So have that person in mind and think about them. And if you want to share that person name with us, it's okay. If you don't want to share, you can share that the name of that person to the person themselves. It will also be okay. At least you are building trust in another person. You should also look for, maybe I want to ask the tip. I want you to tell one person or group who has already helped you since you arrived in China. If it's your first time in China, if you have been here in China, maybe you have had the opportunity to meet a lot of new people. I want you to text that person who helped you in China before. You just maybe text them, how are you doing today? Like this. Maybe just text them, how are you? And how are you feeling? You should not wait. Maybe you are in trouble, then you have to ask them when you are in trouble. As soon as the person texts, you text the person, hi, how are you? Okay. Okay. All right. I know this person want to do something. So it cannot be like this. You have to improve your communication skills, and you also have to think about maybe the person you message this week to strengthen your relationship. Maybe that connection you want to make this week, that person you want to text to make your relationship as solid as possible. I want you to text that person name in a group, or maybe text the person name to them. Like, just say, I appreciate you for being a good friend, and kind of continue that cycle of building a very positive network. So I'll move on. We'll talk next we're going to speak about, supervisor and student relationship. This is one of the most complicated and most important relationship you can have for your time here in China. So your supervisor, consider this relationship is very intricate. So we'll have to go through it. We'll look at your expectation, and then give you some effective strategies, and then we'll take some audience questions. So the expectations, the supervision is a partnership, kind of like respectful partnership relationship. Supervisor is not your God. He's not also somebody that you look down or take less of. So there are responsibilities that you have and they have. So your responsibility, your supervisor is there to provide the guidance for you. But if you provide the guidance for you, you need to initiate. Let me tell you, here in China, I came in China. I've been here for maybe close to 10 years now. It's been very long. When I started even my PhD studied in China, the supervisor, most of them, as long as I don't know if it has anything to do with color or whatever, but what I know is that they expect you to be somebody who would not be that kind of inquisitive. So my supervisor put me on the timeline where he said I should go through the first semester and the second semester and do my courses. Then maybe sometime you have meetings so we can discuss about the research area. And I asked him about the research. He said, no, just focus on your study, your courses. And in my mind, I take these courses, maybe I'll not get B in any of these courses. I'll get straight A's in all. So this is not very important because I studied the course. When the semester starts, that's when I start to study. And I continue to study throughout. So this is not very problem. But the research thing is a problem because I don't understand this thing. So what I did was that I went to a profile on the internet. I saw all your research areas, and I just picked few. I just need to read. I read all the paper first, and I chose a research focus. Then I need to be telling him I'm interested in this. He said, yes, that's very good. And when you focus on your study, then after your courses, I say, okay. So the end of the first semester, going into the second semester, I gave him a review because I actually been aggressively studying. I need to clock around 20 hours on that stuff. Then I sleep wherever it is. Anytime I wake up, I continue where I started. So I gave him a review and he was surprised. He took me very differently. Now he invited me to the group meetings and everything. He took me very, very seriously. So I don't know what you need to do. You need to create a situation where your supervisor will take you extremely seriously. You need to put in that work. Like for me, my parents are not very rich. So the work, I put in the work and study aggressively. There are no many topics from things that don't concern me. So you should be like that. So you should always be initiating things. I did this. Can you see it? Then he will give you guidance and feedback. And you are there to track your progress. And if you give you feedback, what you need to do is that you need to evaluate that feedback. And we'll get into the next task. So your supervisor will provide you academic standards. And what you need to do as a student, you need to be honest. Do not plagiarize or take other person's work and then try to submit it to your supervisor or these things. You need to be honest in whatever you're doing because it will come to bite you if you're not honest in the end. So let's talk a little bit about effective strategies. So let's take, for example, you have a meeting with your supervisor. How do you navigate this? So before you meet with your supervisor, the first thing, you need to be over-prepared. I can over-prepare myself, for example, if I want to talk about this. Because in China, a supervisor is always right. So if you want to convince him about anything you want to do, you need to be over-prepared. Whatever you want to say, maybe, for example, he's talking about some kind of maybe linear adiabatic method, and he think that method was way 2017 method. Nobody using that thing now. We have AI, machine learning. Maybe we're using robust or refined piecewise function to maybe compute something, and he's still using that his old method. To convince him, you need to be over prepared and you need to know the literature. And for my case, the math to the letter. So if you engage in him, it can be that kind of way where he will take you serious. But even if he insists you should do something, you should follow whatever he says and do it and show him the results. Then your novel idea, whatever, can be your suggestion, like that. So if, for example, you plan a meeting with him, you should prepare for that meeting. And then if you have the meeting, every key points, you should always have your paper and your pen. I like the phone, but most people will not use the phone to do that thing. They'll play on a phone in a meeting, and something you should not do. Even if Chinese students playing with a phone, no, do not play with your phone. You should always take you to be somebody you show examples of. You say, look at this person. This is what they do. That's what my supervisor do for me. Like everything, I should be the example. And you should always, like, for example, if you have the meeting, after the meeting, you can do follow-up, and the follow-up, you should not hurry your supervisor for the feedback, because sometimes these guys can have like around 3-4 research papers they are doing, and they are also teaching, so that their timeline can be very, very, very tough. So he will respond to you. You need to give him the time. And when you respond to you, you need to document the progress, and you always hit him with feedback for more improvement, and for you to revise your work for the next meeting. Another thing I want to share. Okay, let's do the questions. So I have a question for you guys. How often do you update your supervisor, like in terms of communication? How often do you talk to your supervisor? If you have, I can give 15 seconds for somebody to put their hands up, or you text in the group. So the question is, how often do you interact or update with your supervisor? And the next question is, I want to know that information about your lab. To your program you have for those engineering students. I think most of them have lab programs. Do it require you to go for meetings? And how often do you attend the meetings? Do you miss the meetings? I need to know that answer from you. And lastly, I want to know, how do you communicate with your supervisor? Do you text him through WeChat? And when you text him through WeChat, what's the response time? Do you respond quickly, or you wait for a long time to respond? And do you meet him often in person? And if you're in China and you're texting your supervisor through email, then you are way behind. You need to double up. Your supervisor need to be somebody you communicate. My supervisor, if I text him now, if I text him, for example, midnight, he will still respond if he's up, because that guy is a machine. So we can work any time of the day, but it need to be that kind of communication. Like you texting anything, you have problem with texting, it can be that kind of relationship. But if your supervisor don't trust you and don't take you serious, you texting today, you take maybe 2-3 days to respond. So I see let me see if I can I see the text message box is red here. I don't know if I can get it running. So I'm not getting. Okay, I get so the message is, okay, not so often. The VP said not so often. Darius, my dear brother. Okay. So the VP said not so often. So the VP will encourage her to like more grace to her, to increase the hustle. Give that people hard time. If you don't give them hard time, it's very difficult. You need to give them hard time for them to take you seriously. So we'll talk about maybe joining student clubs and organization. This is not a technical presentation, so we will just flow, and then because this is social, this does not have anything to do with computation. So I think it should be basic, and I'll just flow, and I hope everybody understands it. So beyond the classroom, we'll talk about beyond the classroom, what happens and what you need to do, and we'll take some questions. Now, this question, I want one person at the end of this presentation to come on audio for maybe 15 seconds to answer my question. So we'll move on. Okay. Okay, yes. So we'll move on to connecting beyond the classroom. So most of the guys here, you see some guys are very strong, very good in getting straight A's and what have you, or publishing papers. Most of them only do the academic activities. It's not go beyond the classroom. And if you are not going beyond academic activities, you are losing. You will never have this college experience after graduation. You'll never have this school experience. So it's the time you need to build your leadership experience, and there are a lot of things you need to do. So outside the classroom, you need to explore. First, you need to spot some clubs, like some school association clubs. For example, in my case, the engineering association, go to the club, or maybe some social club, and partake in these social activities. So it gave you different perspective and also relax your mind. Maybe you are that engineering person who doing mathematics and doing these equations and doing coding. I think can be, you want to crack your brain. You should have other social activities that will go along with these things. And you should also get involved, maybe attend events and maybe competitions. So attend these activities, maybe visit these activities. It will be very, very important for you to visit the activities, because it will help you grow in your confidence, and it will help you maybe to get to like be a better leader. Like, and one of the things that help you become a better leader is the voluntary work. See, many people, like you see people like Rufi, a vice president, what they are engaged in many voluntary work. They're not getting paid for it, but then they grow that experience and it build the network with many people in your similar field. Because most cases, those people who get jobs and other things, they are often recommended by peers, people you have interacted with in school or at work. They know your tenacity, they know how hardworking you are. They can recommend you for many career opportunities. So you should keep that in mind every time. So we will take there's one question here. What kind of club would you like to join this semester for new students? Are you a new student? Can you post in the WeChat, in the Zoom chat? Like, what kind of activities do you want to take part in? Do you want to take part in maybe academic activity, or do you want to be a part of the club, a social club, maybe a drama club, or maybe you can sing very well and you think you'll be too busy and don't want to socialize? My opinion is that you should be part of association. Like, for example, I almost don't have time at all, and I'm not very well. I need to adjust my time. I sleep sometimes 4 or 5 hours, and if it's tough, sometimes 3 hours. I'm used to it, so I don't get headache again. But if you have more time, and even in fact, I'm in a choir. I do a lot of social activities. So most of you don't have excuse to not be like partaking in activities. Maybe your church, you can join a choir, and maybe you can join an usher. If you are a Christian, if you are Muslim, of course, I don't know if you can partake, like actively partake, but you can find a way to partake in other activities. So if you are a new student, you can post in the chat the activities that you plan to join. So we'll quickly move on to skipping time. Some like meaningful engagements. We'll take balancing your life in academia, as I was just saying. So we'll take it quick and then do the question. So let's talk about balancing. So your whole time year, it has to be very balanced between what you do. You should understand that study is your primary activities, but you cannot only study. No, you should balance it with other activities. That is very important. And then you should always volunteer to maybe volunteer to do things for free. Do not demand money for everything you do, because everything is not about money. Your money can come and go, but then the connection and the relationship you build with people will stay with you for a very, very long time. So you should be interested in building your network. And your network, you can start with, maybe it does not have to be very big. Maybe you can uh, volunteer for some program and then start from there to build your career to be something that you'll be proud of later on. Maybe you can be the student leader, etc. So there's a question here. So what one new experience that you like to try this semester? Would you like to maybe join a dance club? Or maybe would you like to, whatever you like to do, I want you to purposely plan it in your heart and forget that you have other things to do. Purposely plan that, okay, I'll go for this program, or maybe I'll sign up for the club on the weekend, the time I'm supposed to sleep, because I was busy throughout the week, the time I'm supposed to sleep from 6 in the morning all the way to 4 in the evening. I can take that afternoon, maybe 2 o'clock, from 2 to 3. I go to the dance club, and then I'll meet new people. And if you meet people, always be somebody that people want to meet. Put a smile on your face. You have problem. Your problem sometimes you don't have money. And if you don't have money, as soon as you leave the hall, everybody know you don't have money because you face your face like something happened to you. You frown on your face, you do. When somebody smile and say hi, then you nothing. So most of you when you have your problem, you put it on your face, but you should always smile, be polite. Make sure everything you do, when somebody sees what you're doing, they want to be in connection with you, be into maybe be like a sharing communication with you. That make sure you have the attitude where everybody wants to be associated with you. It's very, very important for you. So I want you to keep in mind, don't text your response, but you should keep in mind that one new experience that you want to have this semester, and then I hope you take it from there. So next we'll try to integrate everything. I think I have 3 minutes here, so we'll try to integrate everything. So let's integrate everything that we have said. So integration, we'll talk about everything we did today and then give some key takeaway. So for today, we first talk about the integration strategy. For example, most of you, so we have gone on. This program is a little late, the 25th of October. I think we have gone 8 weeks. So we've gone 8 weeks into your program for the new students. So that means you have already done the orientation, you have settled in. You have met with your supervisor, and then he has given you some tasks to do and maybe some research activities to do. So you can maybe you have already joined some clubs and everything. So I need you to explain to me, maybe in a question and answer time, what have worked for you during your time here. Yeah, so you need to explain what have worked for you. And most of you, if you're first time coming to China, winter is coming, you should buy clothes, you should buy thick clothes, good clothes. You should buy base spray and everything. It will get very cool and you get very embarrassed. So you need to wear a lot of clothes, especially when you're from Liberia, where there's no snow, etc. So now we are at the next phase. After the 8 weeks, we are going to the next phase of your time here to deepen your engagement, to strengthen maybe your academic and social networking you have been doing. So from now to maybe the next few months, where you enter your third and fourth month here in China, you go December, January, you need to put things in place where you can start maybe your experiments and other stuff. So what you need to do is that you need to start joining your lab and maybe getting that report and getting that data and maybe going to that Chinese person who know how to do these things, and then maybe getting that technical skills from the person. You should also maybe try to join some voluntary and skill building project. So your aim will be in the first 5 months, you will have to start to write your own research if you're a PG student, or maybe you need a target at the end of this semester if you are an undergraduate student to get straight A's. And the A's, as I told you about, the A's, to get the A's, you need to start to prepare for the course as soon as the course starts. Don't just go for the exam and prepare for 2 weeks. As soon as the course starts, every step in a way, don't take a long time. You take 30 minutes to 2 hours to digest everything every day. So 2 weeks to the exam will be very easy for you. Even if math will be easier because you have the concept. Like sometimes I need to solve all the problem behind the book. You have time. Sometimes the stuff is like 2-3 months you can solve all the problem behind the book, and you will see related problems like that. So in the 5th month, you need to be getting ready for you undergraduate, for you postgraduate student to start presenting your own maybe review paper, research paper. Do not be like all these guys who maybe you spend 3 years, 4 years in China and you do one paper to graduate. No, you cannot get job after this. Maybe you spend like 4 years in China doing your PhD, you get around maybe 10 first author paper, 8 first author paper, or 6 first author paper. Right between the 6 to 10, if the impact factor is from 3.0 to 8.0, you can get 6. Or maybe you can just do 2 big papers that have maybe impact factor of not natural like 15 or 50. You just do 1 or 2. Those papers are very difficult to do. But don't stay here and just maybe don't do a lot of work, because when you graduate, you'll not get job yet. And maybe if you're getting job here, maybe your friend will hire you in Shanghai to do some kind of shipping business, which is not a bad thing to do, but you can have more opportunities if you prepare well. So we are going to close. We take key takeaways. So we have talked about the whole cultural aspect. We talked about, we previously talked about cultural awareness. And then later on, I talked to you about finding a supported network. Then we talk about maybe supervisor to student relationship and what happens there. And then we talk about engaging in some social clubs, etc. And then we said that integrating and balancing everything help you and help your psyche as a student. So you need to be able to integrate everything together. So we will take the questions and we'll close. I think I just 20 seconds over time, so this is good. So the question here is, I have a question for you guys. I need an audience response. You have your supervisor texts you around 10 p.m. about now, maybe 11 p.m. So I need a response. Maybe you can text in the group chat A, B, or C. A is to ignore the message until in the morning, and B is to maybe reply to the message immediately. C is to maybe acknowledge the next day politely. So which one are you choosing here? If you are that student where your supervisor texted you around 10 p.m. in the evening, or 11, or even now 10:52 p.m. So what's your response in the chat? While we're waiting for your answers, I want you to write one goal that you, we have few responses, so it's between A and B. Somebody, let me see, who is this person? Teresa says she will choose B to reply immediately. And we have Helen, A, if she's awake, Helen said, if I'm awake, she choose A to ignore till morning. Dara said that he'll reply immediately. And then Mr. Bravo, MVP said A, reply immediately. Lucas Techno, B, I'll reply immediately. So most people will reply immediately, while few people would ignore till the morning. Now, for you, females and other stuff is different. I don't know, because I'm not a female, so there will be some intricate aspect. Maybe you're a female and have a male supervisor. But for you guys, you need to create a situation where you become let's say you create a situation where you become like available almost all the time for your supervisors, especially some you guys who are looking for opportunity and you're not married and you do not have or girlfriend that will ask you why you responding. For you guys, for the other people, maybe if you're a professional person, you're engaged and you're married, or you have a relationship, I think you should reply at the time you can, because they will understand you. But some of you who are looking for opportunities, you should just go, just lose yourself here in China. So I want you to write one goal that you will add upon. You don't have to share it with me, so you just write one goal that you add on this week. Write that goal. What do you do this week? And write it. I want you to write it to yourself, or you write it, maybe just write it to yourself. Maybe that goal that you add upon this week, and then maybe you can share it with your friend for him to keep you, he or she to keep you accountable to whatever you're doing. So thank you so much. My name is Christian Mulbah, and I was your presenter, and I hope I was able to share some cultural stuff with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Christian. If you have any questions, please raise your hand or type your message in the chat. Are there any questions? Okay, once again, thank you so much, Honorable Christian.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. For our closing section, we have closing remarks and reflections, which will be done by the audience and the speakers. So if you learn anything or you have anything to say before we close, now is the time. I'll go first. I want to thank the speakers.
I cannot see anything. Comments. Stop it. Maybe you.
Hi, Alexander.
Press escape. Amen. Okay. Good evening. You hearing me?
Good evening. Yes.
Sorry, I'm unable to raise my hand because I'm having some problem with my phone. I cannot locate my emoji section.
It's fine.
Okay, so at this time, I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to all of the lecturers tonight on the valuable points that they have lectured on. And I wish that all of us have listened, as we have listened to them, we take heed to these instructions or to these cautions that they are giving us, so that our study time in China can be a successful one, it can be a memorable one, so that we avoid problems that will put us in difficult situations at the end of the day. So thank you to all of the speakers for sharing your insight with us tonight, and they are valuable and we are going to consider them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alexander. Do we have anyone else? If there is no one else. Hello. Welcome.
Yeah, okay. Firstly, I want to say, in front of this normal community, thank for bringing unity amongst students from different backgrounds. No, I'm so happy to come identify and see that we went together. So I'm so much grateful to be with you guys, and thank you for all the hard work to bring everyone together in this country. So what the phone name said, Olano. So Olano, I appreciate your hard work and keep on what you do. Olano, yeah, Olano. keep on what you're doing for bringing the unity amongst us. So I'm grateful and thank you all for tonight meeting.
Thank you.
Hello?
All right. Good evening.
Hello?
Hello, Madam
Yeah.
Esther. Emmanuel, can Madam Esther go first? Thank you.
Okay. To the leadership of the Liberian students in China, I want to say a very big thank you. I am so impressed of the work you guys are doing for the student. Like I said, Rufin, I just got to know her because of what she is doing for the student. Every time she will call me, oh, our mom, you have to do this. We got this problem. We got that problem. And Rufin, I want to thank God for you and the entire leadership. Olano, I want to extend thanks and appreciation. You continue to hold together, continue to work hard in the interest of our students. So I want to tell God, thank you. And I bless God that I could be part of this platform. And I hope that all we have said, that our students will listen and they will try to govern themselves. Thank you again. Thank you so much. I will convey this meeting to the entire staff, the ambassador, and the entire staff of the embassy. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being a part of this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Esther. Thank you. Emmanuel, you can speak.
All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And let me just use this medium to say a very big thank you to the student leadership in China for these platforms and the opportunity created to learn this valuable lesson. And I would also love to extend to the facilitator or presenters today for the impactful message conveyed to us. So there are a lot of things I learned from this discussion today. So especially, let me just start from the safety message presented by our own president, Mr. Bloh. So thank you so much. So like adhering to those safety messages, it is not only saving the university or your colleagues, but it is also saving your own life. And also one big takeaway, which is a phrase, but it is very meaningful and it have many things to do with. That is be a good citizen, which come in various forms. All right. And like the presenter that talked about the means of being a part of some activity apart from academic activity. It is very important because life experience, as we know, most of those that might be a good scorer during our school days, we realize that those people are not socially engaged, predicated upon that fact. They have some struggle as they grow up in life. So it is good. Apart from academic, we encourage our colleagues to be part of activities because it will be good. Yes, so there are many things. I cannot take all of the time. Let me just give space to other colleagues. Overall, thank you for today.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Limo, I see that your hand is up. You'll be the last person to speak, and then we close. Limo. Okay.
Hello? Are you guys
Yes.
hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, so I want to appreciate the student leadership body for this unique gathering, and also want to appreciate Madam Esther, who took upon her time to give us some educative measures. I also want to appreciate the president, Mr. Teah, and that of the other speakers. At least there were a whole lot I learned tonight, and this meeting was actually impactful, and I'm truly grateful. Thank you all so much. It was nice being on a Zoom meeting.
Thank you, Limu. Thank you for being here. I would like to thank our speakers for honoring our invitation tonight, Madam Esther, Dr. Ballah, Honorable Olano, Honorable Christian. Thank you for being here. Thank you for providing information that is essential to our stay in China. To each and every person that joined the platform tonight, I hope we all leave with things that are helpful in our day-to-day life and also our overall journey in China. Thank you for being here. Our Honorable NVB, Rufi M. Hammer, will close us in prayer.
Okay. So just to add my voice to all the many voices which I extended thanks and appreciations to our speaker. We say thank you so much for sharing all of what you've shared. We are grateful. I know how much it took you to prepare the PPTs, to prepare all of what you share with us. And for that, we don't take it for granted. We want to say thank you. And also to the scholars that joined from the beginning and you stayed up to now, we also appreciate you as well. And before I pray, I also like to say thank you to the organizing committee, because there's a whole lot of work that went into preparing for this event, and to all those who was involved through the process. I'll say thank you so much and God bless you. I always say that our service to man is service to God. So I cannot reward you for everything you've done, but the Heavenly Father that sees it all will reward you accordingly. So with these words being said, I'll ask that you all please bow your heads with me as we pray shortly. Our Lord and our God, we are grateful, Abba Father, for this time. We thank you, Abba Father, for taking us through the preparatory stage, and you've brought us here at the conclusion stage, oh God, of this event. We're grateful, Lord, that you're able to bring your people to listen to whatever that has been shared, Abba Father. As this information has been provided, Lord, that you will help them to work with this information for the good. Oh Lord, and that we'll all be able to stay in this country in a very safe way and use this information that was shared to live in this country peacefully. We thank you, O God, as we're about to leave to go to our various rooms and sleep. We pray, Jesus, that you're being about with us. Let your glory be seen now forevermore. Be with the new students, those that need guidance. Abba, Father, we pray that you will help them to connect themselves with the right people to provide the guidance that they will need. We thank you, Abba Father, for this organization. May you continue to help us, ground us in love and wisdom and understanding. We thank you, dear God, for all of our speakers. Thank you, Lord, for our MC, for all those who participated in the program. We bless your name. Have your will, O God, now and forevermore. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen.
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 Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.